Splendiferous humans of the interwebs. Welcome to eSpot Live. My name is Ellie. This here is Rodney. He is my emotional support duck / co-host. G-Man's in the chat. Did you save that so it was like on the screen so I couldn't deny talking about it? I'll get to that. I'll get to you in just a second. So, first I always start eSpot Live with disclaimers. Today's disclaimer is more of kind of like an anti-disclaimer in a sense. I've made some upgrades and they should, hopefully, if all goes well, kind of smooth out the stream a little bit. Knock on wood, wherever you can find it. But here's where you guys come in as always. I need you to let me know because everything looks like it's running super smoothly on my end, which is just a little bit terrifying. Really exciting, but also terrifying. So, yeah, my disclaimer is that everything looks fine, but you never know, right? So, yeah, y'all's help with that will be appreciated. Let me know in the chat. I always point the wrong direction for that. If anything looks a bit wonky. Alright, I'll have a little bit more detail on the surprise towards the end of today's show. But what I'll go ahead and tease for now is that you get extra Ellie this week. I'm super, super excited, but make sure you guys clear your schedules for tomorrow. Again, more details coming at you in a bit. But you don't even know how excited I am. Bonus Ellie this week. I'm stoked. Hopefully you guys are too. And yeah, I don't think I was supposed to talk about the surprise until the end, but G-Man kind of called me out, but that's alright. Like I said, more details coming at you, so you still have to stay tuned, suckers. That's how this works, right? Woohoo! Alright, all that being said, I'm gonna go ahead and jump into newsy stuffs. If you're new or jumping in and watching this, eSpot Live is a show where I babble about just news topics that I find interesting that pertain to the entertainment industry. There's probably a little more to it than that, but close enough, right? So yeah, without further ado, I'm gonna go ahead and dive in. I'm opening with kind of like a light-ish topic today, which I kind of love. Just everything about this amuses me. The Pokemon Slowpoke has officially taken over in a certain area of Japan as a special postal service mascot. So it would seem that all of the criticism against mail carriers being slow, that's a worldwide phenomenon, not just an American one. So regardless of where you live, apparently that's a joke. Even though, you know, let's be honest, mail carriers' speed has far more to do, or lack thereof, rather, with lack of funding and transport issues than anything else, but whatevs. You know, most postal services, I feel like, try to fight against that label. Apparently one city in Japan just decided to embrace it with open arms. And thanks to Pokemon, there's never been a cuter time to send mail if you live in specifically the Kagawa Prefecture in Japan. So, little more detail on this. In that area of Japan, specifically the city of Takamatsu, they're just really embracing not only the ongoing joke of slow mail, but also they're embracing their notoriety as a place to find udon. That's how I always say it. Hopefully I'm saying that correctly. But like the noodles, you know? It's a famous noodle dish. Udon, it's delicious. If you want to go get authentic udon in Japan, apparently the place to go is Takamatsu. Now, this doesn't necessarily sound like it fits in until you realize that in Japan, the Pokemon that we call Slowpoke is known as Yaron, which sounds very close to udon. Again, I'm sure I'm butchering the pronunciation from a Japanese perspective, and I apologize for that. But even Americanized, it sounds pretty similar. So yeah, this play on words has helped Yaron become a mascot for the Kagawa Prefecture, specifically the city of Takamatsu. And Yeah, that's the official mascot for the Postal Service, not just to, I don't know, raise awareness or whatever for the Postal Service, but also to promote udon, which is kind of fantastic. The mascot isn't even, like, too much digging into that joke of it being slow. So much as bringing out the tourism for the udon noodles, but, like, also playing on words. It's just so many puns in one go. I love puns. This is puns in another language, which just somehow makes it even better. I feel like I'm doing a terrible job of describing how punny this situation is, but it's fantastic. Just trust me on that. So yeah, you're mixing Pokemon, a play on words, and promoting noodles, and it's just everything about this makes my heart happy, and it's Pokemon related, so I'm allowed to talk about it on eSpot. There we go. That's all I really got on that particular topic. I just think it's kind of fantastic. You know, Slowpoke's found himself a new gig, and it's promoting noodles as the mascot of a mail system. I feel like if we did more stuff like that, you know what? No, we have other issues with the States. But yeah, I love everything about that. I think it's super fun. Moving right along. Yay, transitions. One of these days I'll get them. Probably not, but it's fine. So the next thing I have to talk about is actually Sesame Street. Like I said, great transition there, right? But specifically, something I'm actually really excited about. So Sesame Street is actually adding 2 Black Muppets specifically in order to introduce them and talk about race and racism. Sesame Street has absolutely resonated with children and adults alike since it first started airing on PBS back in 1969. I knew it had been around for a while. I didn't realize that it had been around for over 50 years. It's incredible. They combine sketch comedy, animation, puppetry. I love it. And really, Sesame Street has a history of introducing some extraordinarily iconic characters, right? You know, everybody knows Big Bird, Bert, Ernie, Cookie Monster, Elmo, all these characters. And in 2019, Sesame Street officially celebrated its 50th anniversary. It's crazy, but so cool. A feature film adaptation of the children's series will be releasing soon. It's on its way. It's going to be starring Anne Hathaway. I'm super stoked about it. I love Sesame Street. I love Anne Hathaway. It's a good mix. Sesame Street, to this day, is absolutely honored as one of the most successful children's programs of all time. Sesame Workshop is the organization that produces the children's show, and they've created a series of online videos featuring new characters to cater to relevant topics. So over the past few years, we've seen Sesame Workshop introducing Lily, who is a Muppet who addressed the issue of homelessness. We met Carly, a Muppet who lives with a foster family due to her mother's opioid addiction. And we met Julia, a Muppet with autism. So now we're going to get 2 brand new Muppets to absolutely tackle the issues of race and racism. According to Yahoo, Sesame Street is introducing Elijah Walker, a new Black Muppet, and his 5-year-old son Wesley to promote racial literacy among its audience. The title is The ABCs of Racial Literacy. It's a digital content series, and it'll be, or it did rather, launch on March 23rd, so it's already out there if you want to check it out. One video shared on the Sesame Street in Community's YouTube channel, titled Explaining Race, features Elmo observing different colored leaves and asking his new friend, Elmo wants to know why Wes's skin is brown. The video opens up this dialogue between Elmo, Elijah, and Wes about identity, ethnicity, and racial justice. The segment elaborates on the autumn leaves metaphor, and Elijah ends up telling Elmo and Wes, when people of all colors come together, we stand strong like this tree. Portrayed by puppeteer Chris Thomas Hayes, Elijah explains how melanin determines skin in a way Sesame Street young audience will understand, and states the color of our skin is an important part of who we are, but we should all know that it's okay that we all look different in so very many ways. As Wes and Elijah's storyline progresses, Sesame Workshop will continue to offer tools on how to confront structural racism, and will eventually introduce Naomi, who's Wes's mom. The ABCs of Racial Literacy will be a part of Season 52 of Sesame Street, as well as Season 53, so they're in it for the long haul. The beloved gang of Sesame Street shows no signs of slowing down and clearly remains very committed to inclusion and education, specifically targeting its very young audience. The ABCs of Racial Literacy is a vital tool that can help children and their parents really open the door for important conversations about race and ethnicity and racism. Indeed, like, when you think about it, Sesame Street's educational programming is one of the best resources out there to really simplify very complicated issues, and has been really encouraging millions of children to tackle very hard topics that even adults shy away from, and hopefully that this next run will challenge these children to who tune in to absolutely dismantle racism. I love that so much. Sesame Street, especially with the new characters they've been introducing, I've always liked them. It was one of very few things I was sometimes allowed to watch as a kid. And I've always loved Sesame Street. And yeah, like I said, especially recently with the new characters they've been rolling out, and the fact that they're very, very much not shying away from very serious issues. I have a lot of respect for that, and I'm super excited about this. So yeah, that's my nerding out. I'm like, I love the Muppets so much. Sesame Street, Muppets, just that whole... Anyways, I'm about to go on a sidetrack conversation that's just nothing to do with this topic, so I'm gonna move on. Anyways, hopefully y'all are as excited about that as I am. But next up, fun fact, apparently Genshin Impact has been making around $12 million a day whenever a new character is released. That's not half bad. Genshin Impact's characters are absolutely at the heart of the game. New ones are released every month, and each one has unique abilities that can help you when exploring the open world of Teyvat or taking on some of Genshin's hardest challenges, right? I mean, they're also just really charming, beautifully rendered, very well voice acted, and they typically have their own special little story quests that dig into the backstory. So Genshin Impact has done a very good job of really, really fleshing out each of these individual characters, which makes people super excited about each of these individual characters. It's a good business model. It turns out that these characters are also how the game is making very, very good money. Based on an analysis of market intelligence website Sensor Tower, each time one new character is added to the game, players collectively fork over around $12 million just within the first day to try and get it. Now, emphasizing the try because Genshin Impact is a game that rewards new characters in what are basically limited time loot boxes. So every month there's a different wish banner that players can spend Primogems on. When I first read that, it was Primogems in my brain, but I'm pretty sure it's Primogems. Somebody who actually plays Genshin Impact, let me know in the chat. So yeah, you spend this, it's like in-game currency. There we go. That's fairly easy to earn within the game itself, right? But you can also spend real money on it to kind of try to up your chances. The odds, let me be clear, the odds are not really in your favor in this because you only have a 0.6% chance of getting one of the ultra rare 5-star characters. So let me also say there are some systems that guarantee you get one after so many tries. However, yeah, it's all a game of chance, but it's chance obviously like any other type of loot box or something like that where you put things in and you know, it's like you get the chance of getting it back. But I didn't, okay, so I got a little distracted there, but I didn't realize how low of a percentage chance that you get for that, for the, like, typically 5-star characters. Why did English get difficult all of a sudden? It's fine. So the Prima Gems are actually easy to earn just by playing, obviously. The loot boxes are really cheap. But like I said, that percentage chance, the probability is super low. But it turns out that many, many players are actually gambling real money on the wish banners as well. So they're not just sticking to what they earn in-game. They're throwing in money. And, you know, according to this website, Sensor Tower, that tracks spending specifically in different mobile games, Genshin Impact has already made over $1 billion in just 6 months. Now, let me be clear. The mobile analyst Sensor Tower analyzes mobile games alone, which means this is not including revenue from its PC and console versions. This is just the mobile version. This makes Genshin Impact the fastest growing game ever. For comparison, it took Fortnite's mobile version 2 years to reach the $1 billion threshold. Genshin Impact reached that in 6 months. And like I said, apparently, according to this analysis, the driving force behind this growth is the characters. Which, again, of all the things to make a game grow that way, I think that's a pretty cool way to do it. So on average, Genshin Impact is making about $5.8 million a day. It's a lot of money. And then whenever you add in that new character, the revenue surges up to an average of $12 million for that first day before kind of starting to taper back down to that $5.8 million. And again, this is just the mobile version. So they've had really popular characters. The most popular character added to the game was Zhongli, the Geo polearm user, who sparked controversy when players realized that he had been heavily nerfed from the closed beta. I had to look up what nerfed meant. For anybody else who might not be as familiar with that kind of terminology, nerfed means kind of almost watered down, a bit weakened for the final weakened for the final version of the game. So yeah, I mean, y'all probably know what that meant, in case you didn't, because I didn't. There you go. Nerfed. I don't know why nerfed means that, but it's fine. It's whatever. So anyways, MyHoYo eventually did buff him back up, but Sensor Tower actually estimated that Zhongli pulled in $15.5 million on the first day he was available. So even nerfed down, just, massive amount of money. That his character is released back on February 3rd. There's been other popular characters as well. That's just the most popular. They're doing really, really well. But it is really, really fascinating to see this kind of new mode of generating income for a game. I'm not surprised that I just saw G-Man's chat. For example, Ellie has been nerfed. Thanks. Appreciate that. You're not wrong. I'm not surprised that Genshin Impact is doing so well anyways, just from what I was able to see of it as it was releasing, before it was released, all that information. But again, I'm learning a lot about how games work. And in that, you know, I've learned about how they also generate income, how they generate residual income and things of that nature. So this has been fascinating to watch for me, to see how very effectively they're doing this, not with skins like a lot of other games do, or like loot packages that include something like armor or something like that, but having just fully developed one-of-a-kind characters has been super, super, super impacted. Okay, so now I'm catching up on the chat. I am all over the place, guys. It's fine. So yeah, that's Genshin Impact. I'm gonna catch up fully on the chat really quick. Silly Fun jumped in. Hello, Silly Fun. Welcome. And asked if they missed the surprise. Not yet. I teased the surprise. I gave like just a little bit of the breadcrumb of what the surprise will entail, but I will go into detail about the surprise at the end of the show. So you're good. And yes, that is a lot of money. G-Man said I've been nerfed because I'm supposed to lose the glasses, which I did not realize before because I read the chat on the screen instead of... Oh gosh, I can't see. So yes, I have indeed been nerfed. Thank you for letting me catch up on that. And now that I've been nerfed, I'm still struggling to keep up with the chat because it's hard to read. Panda saying about Genshin Impact, it's such a pretty game. Take the art style and open exploration of Breath of the Wild, but instead of only playing as one guy, you get a whole slew of adorable characters with elemental powers. That is really cool. Cough, it's free on PC, PS4, and mobile, Cough. Ooh, okay. Okay, I'll take note of that. Gma's saying, now you can talk about the surprise instead of your notes. Not yet. I don't know. I might have to. It depends on how much I can or cannot read. Yeah, Panda's selling us the free game of Genshin Impact. Just if don't spend all of your monies on loot boxes, or do if that's your thing. Shoot, you know what? Go for it. Okay. Since I have space to babble a bit because I can't see my notes very well, new to the gaming world, we all know this. I never really understood loot boxes. I never understood how people could so easily spend so much money on a game. And I don't mean that condescendingly. Hopefully it's not coming across that way. I just genuinely didn't understand it. Because I'd never really seen in action how they work. And I started playing a mobile game on my phone. So I've officially started a game. It's a fairly simple one. It's Star Wars something or other. And yeah, they have a lot of options for you to kind of purchase extra things. And it's so tempting, but I know that the second I spend like $5 on it, I'm done for. Like, once I cross that boundary, because they've got like stinking $100 packages, and that's all fine and dandy for people who have $100 to spend on a game. There's nothing wrong with that. I am not in a position in my life where I can be spending hundreds of dollars on a game. So, I get it. More than I ever have before in my life. I get it. And it's crazy. I see how these games make a whole lot of money. Catching up on the chat really quick. Silly says, I would also like to take a moment to comment on Ellie's nails and eye makeup. Thank you. Hopefully it's a good comment. So pretty. Ah, thank you very much. I appreciate that. Something I have spent money on fairly recently. Not as much as I want to spend on that game. But yeah, can we get a close-up? I don't know. I'll just like awkwardly lean close to the camera and show my nails. You don't get both. You get one. Thank you. I really, really appreciate that. I started this without knowing how to do makeup at all, and I've been trying to get better because I'm on a high-def camera, and it's kind of terrifying. Yeah, thank you, guys. I'm loving what's going on in the chat real quick. Apparently there's a term that got flagged there. Twitch didn't like the term weirdo. Twitch is sticking up for me. That's what's happening. Yeah, that's why I stuck the nails in front of my face, silly. It was a joke. It was not a good joke, but it was a joke. And I don't want to put my nails up too close because they're not that great. Like, once you actually look harder. Anyways. Alright, moving right along. I still have, like, stinking 3 minutes left on this no glasses thing. I'm gonna try to tackle the next topic, and we're gonna see if I can read words. It's a good thing that eSpot Live is more about me rambling than it is other things. Anyways, next up to chat about, there's rumors of a Zatanna movie in the works, being written by a very promising female writer. I am stoked, okay? So, I love Zatanna. I love that character. I find it fascinating. The concept behind her character and also her. I was introduced personally to Zatanna through Smallville. Heyo, throwback. I adore her character. I am super excited about this. It's still in that reportedly phase, so who knows. But, yeah, reportedly, a Zatanna movie is in the works. DC Films, with the writer of Promising Young Woman reportedly writing the script. So, yeah, promising writer. Promising him. Anyways, it was meant to be a joke, and I just kind of steamrolled right over it. It's fine. So yeah, super excited about this. I think it's going to be a really good fit. Variety has reported that Emerald Fennel has been hired to write a Zatanna movie from J.J. Abrams' Bad Robot Productions. The plan is reportedly to release the movie in theaters, so I'm assuming that means they're not expecting it for another year or so. Who actually knows? Fennel was a writer and executive producer on Killing Eve and played Camilla Parker Bowles in season 3 of The Crown. Fennel rose to fame in 2020 with the release of her feature-length directorial and writing debut. Also, can I just say, like, to roll out your debut in a 2-in-1, both writing and directing. I don't know if you guys know how much work it is to write a film or to direct a film. And typically, not always, because sometimes there is overlap there, but typically those are two different beyond full-time jobs. So to debut your first written script as the director, so much respect. Oh my goodness. She's killing it. That's amazing. Yeah. I'm, okay. Kind of gushing there a little bit. Also, while I'm gushing, Promising Young Woman was nominated for Best Picture at the Oscars and the BAFTAs, so doing pretty well. Heyo. It's been confirmed since 2020 that Abrams is developing TV and movie projects about Justice League Dark. Zatanna is a part of the original Justice League Dark team, but there has been no confirmation at this time that Zatanna movie and Justice League Dark projects are related, because they're both kind of just, well, confirmed project, rumored project. Anyways. But it is worth noting that Abrams is working on a new Superman movie as well. So yeah, this would not be the first time Zatanna has made it to the big screen. She cameoed in Teen Titans Go, and then has also been in a couple of live-action versions. She was on Smallville, obviously, played by Serinda Swan. And then the character most recently popped up in the direct-to-video movie Justice League Dark Apocalypse War, where the character is played by Camilla Luddington. The character was introduced in the comic Hawkman #4 back in 1968, so she's been around for a while, which I also didn't realize, by writer Gardner Fox and artist Murphy Anderson. For those of you who aren't as familiar with her character, Zatanna is a stage magician who, along with her family, actually has real powers, including teleportation, flying, and the ability to heal. Wait, I got it. Zatanna's the latest in an extremely long list of DC film productions that are reportedly in the works. So it seems like the DCU is really trying to beef up its movie realm. I'm somewhat excited about that, a little nervous. I've said this before. I love the DC television universe. The Arrowverse that they've built, I adore it so much. I somewhat enjoy the films that they've come out with, but it's just, for some reason, it's not as cohesive for me. It doesn't click. Like, I mean, obviously, I'm comparing it to the MCU, which isn't completely fair, but something that they're doing over in the Marvel Cinematic Universe is working super, super well, and I feel like the DC Cinematic Universe hasn't quite hit that mark yet. Some of the films I adore, some of them I'm just kind of like, eh, and for me, the saddest part is when they're not particularly memorable. So here's to hoping that this new rollout of DC movies is gonna really, really beef up and solidify this universe, because there's so much potential. I adore DC characters. I adore the stories. I loved Superman before I knew who Green Arrow was. Like, all of these things, and also, side note, I love how the Arrowverse has, like, streamlined what would have been considered secondary DC characters. Anywho, yeah, there's a lot of potential there. I'm kind of excited, a little nervous, but whatever. I'm getting off topic a little bit, so back on track. Some of the confirmed reports have been a new Superman movie, a Blue Beetle movie, a Static Shock movie, and there are also rumors of an Hourman movie coming out. And then, of course, there are the DC movies with release dates including Suicide Squad, Batman, and The Flash, and there's more as well. So, again, lots coming out. I'm gonna put my glasses back on. Heyo. And catch up on the chat. Silly saying, love killing Eve. True that. I was about to make a comment about not needing the glasses because you were reading well and then you squinted and struggled. Yeah, no, I was making that up. Like, I'll read keywords and then just babble about it, which is why this sometimes works. But as far as actually reading it, yeah, the glasses definitely help. And the next comment is, maybe you do need them. Indeed. I actually probably need to get them upped, too, because I haven't had my prescription checked in a couple of years now. Anyways. I think that now that I can see, this is the perfect time for a water break. So, this is the regularly scheduled portion of the show where I lecture everybody on hydration. Beverages are good for you in general, but water is vital, so make sure that you're drinking water. G-Man was wondering if I was going to actually put them back on. my glasses. Yes, I just figured it would distract me even more if I did it in the middle of a topic. Anyways, time to hydrate or dehydrate. For those of you who usually chime in with your favorite drinks, yes, all good things, but water. Water. Okay, I'll be back. Hopefully y'all didn't miss me too much, and hopefully you guys drank some water. I know I did. Alright, enough of that. Was just checking out the chat real quick. Doesn't look like I missed anything, so that's good. Gonna jump straight into the next topic. I have new hypothetical details on a rumored release. I love this so much. I've talked so much about how much I adore the fact that, there's just so many rumors. There's so much drama and scuttlebutt and unconfirmed things in the entertainment industry, typically within gaming. And I find it probably more amusing than I should. So this is one of those. More details on the much-rumored new model of the Nintendo Switch. Very much unofficially referred to by many as the Switch Pro. Again, I want to emphasize the rumor portion of this topic before I get too excitedly into it, because I am calling myself out about the hype train that I talked about a couple months ago. Silly loves the word scuttlebutt. I'm so glad it's not just me. I also love the word scuttlebutt, which is why I used it. Wow, focusing, right? Okay, so, again, rumor. Now I'm going to dive in. This new Switch Pro will reportedly be using an upgraded Nvidia chip. So this would hypothetically offer better graphics and processing. It'll also support Nvidia's DLSS rendering. And could potentially be released by holiday of 2021. However, analysts are looking at these upgrades and expecting it to come with a potential $50 to $100 price increase. Bloomberg has reported that those familiar with the new model of Switch, which will reportedly also feature a larger screen and 4K output, have indicated that using this Nvidia chipset, and it's aiming for this year-end shopping season release, and again, probably at a slightly higher cost. The chipset in particular is going to be bringing in an updated CPU, increased memory. It'll allow for better looking games, faster processing, to help support 4K docked output. This new chip will apparently include support for NVIDIA's deep learning super sampling, DLSS. So this uses AI upscaling in order to offer 4K resolutions without the associated hardware strains. Also included in this Bloomberg report, sources indicate that DLSS requires custom code for software, which means it will more likely be used to create better looking games rather than upgrading existing ones. But this upgrade to the system in general will probably come at a cost. One analyst told Bloomberg they expect the new hardware to come at $50 to $100 on top of the existing $299.99 that the Switch model already priced at. Those prices, man. The $99.99s. That's cracked me up since I was a kid. I remember seeing commercials on the TV, and I was always that kid who asked the obvious questions. And so I'd be like, why don't they just say it's $300? Because it's $300. And then I learned about psychology. Anyways. So yeah, it'll probably go up $50 to $100. I'm sure people will pay for it. So, also worth noting, this upgraded chip is reportedly coming along with a 7-inch 720p OLED touchscreen on the brand new model of the Switch. When docked, the new console will apparently output at 4K. And previously, this was a very tough ask for Switch hardware, but with the improved chipset and DLSS, it makes it much more feasible. Previous reports have pointed to manufacturing beginning in June with a monthly production target of 1 million units. I don't know if you've noticed all of the apparentlys, reportedlys, hypotheticallys, and everything else I've thrown in there, because here it comes. Nintendo has remained completely quiet on any new Switch model even existing. Nintendo President Shintaro Furukawa, I said that wrong, Furukawa has recently said it will not be announcing a new version of the Nintendo Switch anytime soon. So my question is, there's a lot of detail behind this rumor for something that's completely unconfirmed, which brings me all the way back full circle to my amusement at the entertainment industry, the gaming industry. All this said, the current Switch model is doing pretty well for itself. Lifetime sales have recently passed 79.87 million. This has eclipsed the Nintendo 3DS. It is the best-selling console in the US for nearly 2 years. However, with the recent reports suggesting that Nintendo has a series of marquee games releases, they're expecting it to help beat its own all-time record for software sales, and the theory is that new hardware might be part of that plan. Mostly with this particular topic, I personally am curious to see if it's real. That's not something I thought that I'd be, talking about in this context, but there's so many details on this very specific brand new thing that has not been confirmed at all. And so I want to know if this is something that Nintendo's just kind of sitting on and holding on to for a specific release. Even if they're the ones kind of feeding little tidbits here, it's a brilliant marketing scheme because it's getting people talking about it, right? I also want to shout out to Silly's comment because it cracked me up and distracted me a little bit while I was reading. But is it 4K resolution or 3,999? Probably 3,999. Let's be honest. They only round up when it makes them look good. Otherwise, they round down because psychology. All that said, if this new Switch model exists, I think it'll be really, really cool, especially as new games are coming out. If it doesn't, I want to know where these rumors came from. Because again, this is detailed stuff. This is production information. Like, last time I talked about this topic, I was talking about, like, the exact screens they're using for the OLED touchscreen thing. Yeah, there's a lot of, like, bizarre detail, and from what I've heard, nobody's just, like, randomly getting fired, so, like, if there are leaks from within, I don't know. I just have more questions than answers on this topic. I'm fascinated. I will obviously keep you guys updated as I learn more. And that's all I got for now. I'm gonna just switch topics. Okay. This next one might be one of my favorite things to chat about today. Aside from my surprise, which I'm shamelessly plugging again, because you'll hear more at the end. Stay tuned. Hey. Also, shout out Silly Fun. Details sell lies. That's very true. That's very true. Yeah, good point. I'll just let that sit instead of trying to expand. So yeah, the next topic, as far as just random amusement scale, it's up there for me. I kind of adore that this exists. There's been a massive sensation taking over Twitch on a specific channel that is a stop sign where nobody stops. And I feel like when I first started looking into this, I thought there was more to it. There's not. It's just a stop sign where nobody stops. And it's being recorded live on Twitch, and it's gotten huge, okay? So, you know, you can pull up this Twitch channel, and you might get to see a blue car pulling up to a stop sign. People are waiting with, like, bated breath to see if, against all odds, it will briefly, miraculously come to a full and complete stop. It does! The chat goes ballistic! There's people spamming the chat with, I was here, I saw this! PogChamp emotes flood in. It's a massive deal. This is on Stop Sign Cam. That's all it's called, Stop Sign Cam. It is a Twitch channel that has suddenly blossomed to having over 125,000 followers in a very brief period of time, even though it is literally just a camera trained on a single neighborhood intersection in Salem, Massachusetts. Silly's like, Barry, you gotta go watch that. I mean, I can't really blame you, but hey. Stop Sign Cam's stream title specifically says that 98.73% of vehicles do not stop. I'm gonna go ahead and assume that that's an estimated number. Estimated number. But if you watch the stream, it actually is kind of incredible, a little bit scary how few drivers stop. Or even, like, pretend like they're maybe going to do a half-hearted roll-through stop. Like, people just blow through this thing. I don't want to be judgmental, because I've done that before. The first time I was ever pulled over was as a 16-year-old who drove through a stop sign very accidentally. I legitimately didn't see it, and that's, ironically enough, what saved me from getting a very expensive ticket. Was a police officer, very kind of like sarcastically, but just going through the motions, asked me if I saw the stop sign, and I just turned white and looked behind me and was like, no ma'am. And, you know, she just, I think, was so shocked that I was very clearly telling the truth and I was actually that dumb. Anyways, so yeah, I get that sometimes, especially in neighborhoods, stop signs can be easy to miss, but this just feels like it's more than a coincidence. It's like, just... Nobody likes this stop sign. Drivers just pass right on by. And this is in spite of the fact that there are some, like, dangerously close calls recorded on this live stream. It's crazy. You can watch, like, almost wrecks happen at times. It's this unnecessary game of chicken that makes for weirdly riveting viewing. Especially with the chat going on, because you have people, like, yelling out every time somebody actually does stop. You have non-stop, like, call-outs and all that. That wasn't how you English words, but that's okay. Silly saying, should have had your glasses. I actually, fun fact, should have had my glasses, even as a 16-year-old, but I did not know it at the time. Alas. I was glassesless and did not see a stop sign that was directly in front of my face. Good times, good times. The chat gives out nicknames to different cars. There's been memes made of it. There's now this, like, growing established lexicon of terms within that specific chat, like rollers and zoomers. It really is like watching an esport event, except it's cars just passing by some rando's front yard. Also, with this channel suddenly exploding in popularity, the Stop Sign Cam stream has been growing more and more eventful. So earlier this week, somebody got out of their car and did a backflip for the camera. So people now know where the camera is. That's how popular it's gotten. Other people showed up one night and had a lightsaber duel. I just want to say that I would do that. That is definitely something that I would do. Is just have a random lightsaber battle in front of a camera that I knew was there. Just throwing that out there. Very recently, a viewer walked up to the sign, identified himself in the chat, and removed a sticker from the sign, which had been previously applied by some miscreant who sought to deface its purity. Or do some sort of advertising, who knows. Not too long after that, some very obvious stream snipers held up unreadable signs of their own while standing next to the stop sign. So the more popular it's gotten on the stream, the more popular it's gotten in real life. So now you can go see other things happen aside from people not stopping at a stop sign, but that's still the primary purpose of the stream. Some people are speculating that police might be using the stream as a means of monitoring the stop. That was honestly my first question, was can you read license plates on this stream, right? Like, and have the police gotten in on this? Because now I just started a whole spin cycle in my brain, because I'm like, I wonder what the legality of that is. If you have proof of a, like, rolling stop or a lack of stop or whatever, but through a private camera on private property, but it's a public stream. I don't know, man. But yeah, it seems like this stream has a very strange sort of intrinsic appeal. But worth mentioning, it wasn't just the random appeal of it that propelled it to such fame. According to longtime fans, yes, it has longtime fans. It's been actually up and running since last year, but was only averaging single-digit viewer numbers when it had viewers at all. And then over the weekend, there were a few things that happened. The stream got some play on Twitch Drama Hive turned Kingmaker, on livestream fail on Reddit, and probably most importantly, a big name, 100 Thieves intern JHB Team, promoted the stream to his audience. First he tweeted about it, and then he created a TikTok on Monday, and then things kind of started to get out of hand. So JHB told Kotaku in a DM that at first I thought it'd just be a little fun joke between me and my audience on Twitter for only one night, because I deleted my tweet hours later. When people actually stayed and watched it throughout the night, it made me want to create the TikTok to see if I could make it bigger. I went to bed that night when it had 400 viewers and woke up to 4,000 viewers, as well as my TikTok having 800,000 views in only a few hours. I'm very happy with the result of the TikTok, because it was my ultimate goal to make it popular, and it became more popular than I imagined. So if this person wants to, like, promote my stream, that'd be cool. Just throwing that out there. And you guys are the OGs. Always remembered. So, yeah. Massive blow up. Literally overnight. Stop Sign Cam now has had consistent audience of 1,000 to 3,000 concurrent viewers 24 hours a day. So literally round the clock, there's up to 3,000 people viewing it at a time. There's, like I said, over 100,000 followers of the channel. It's gotten huge. The stream creator gave JHB mod privileges in the chat, because JHB's the one that kind of turned it into something bigger than that is. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see what the future of this little stream is. If it continues on indefinitely, if it does end up sparking some legal controversy, or if, you know, something is done about that area. I may or... I don't know if I can say this on live stream. I was gonna say, I think I'm the reason for a few speed bumps back in the neighborhood I grew up in. So there's always a chance that they could kind of, you know, shift the physicality of the area, add in some physical barriers to encourage people to stop at the stop sign, which would probably change the stream a little bit. So keep an eye out on Stop Sign Cam for some fun little random tidbits. And I'm curious if anything happens with this, if it gets bigger, if it gets, I don't know, who knows? Maybe they make a movie about it. I'll be here to talk to you guys about it. The creator of Stop Sign Cam thought it was temporary to begin with, especially, like that brief roll through rather than, you know, stopping at a stop sign. And it's quoted as saying, "I assumed people would have moved on by now, but I suppose it'll last as long as the chat stays active and friendly. Feels like an ephemeral moment in a tiny, weird corner of the internet." Gonna catch up in chat really quick. Silly, in reference to the mod privileges, you're in charge of babysitting the monster you created. That, yep, pretty much. Pretty much. And then Silly Fun said, physical barriers, like spike strips or a wall. I was thinking more like speed bump style, but you're not wrong. Those are also physical barriers that would encourage people to stop. Could get the not spike strips, but like the one-way spikes. I don't know if they have a problem with people go. Well, that doesn't really work, does it? Because people are going to go both ways through the intersection. Maybe just have spikes that like, you know how they have sensors for stop lights? Have spikes on a sensor, so if you don't stop, if a sensor does not catch you stop, it'll like come up as you're crossing the intersection. That's a terrible idea, just for the record. Partially because motorcycles never trip those sensors, and I just can't handle that. But yeah, go big or go home, right? That has nothing to do with what I'm supposed to be talking about, so I'm gonna go ahead and shift back to the topics that I'm supposed to be talking about, and not talk about ways to not deal with an intersection. The silly one says, oh god, don't go that big. Yeah, okay. Focusing on the topics. My glasses. I do need new ones. So the next thing to chat about is a new indie studio coming directly from Ikumi Nakamura. So Ikumi is someone who kind of, I don't want to say famously, but notably left Tango Gameworks back in 2019, but never really left the conversation, which is largely due to her active presence on social media, which led to different adorable conversations, but most of us remember her from a very incredibly bubbly performance introducing Ghostwire Tokyo at E3. She left Tango Gameworks shortly after that very peppy presentation without providing any explanation as to what happened. But now, thanks to a documentary from Japanese game sites GameSpark and Archipel, we have a better idea of what happened and what she's planning on doing in the future. The documentary follows Nakamura as she tours several abandoned buildings in Japan. She takes photographs of dilapidated and decaying architecture, recounts her career, as well as what led to her departure from Tango Gameworks. She's quoted as saying, "I started wondering whether there wasn't a way for me to make games while feeling better," revealing that she was suffering health problems while working on Ghostwire Tokyo. "I took the decision to quit before it was too late." So after announcing her departure on social media, Nakamura said she received over 2,000 messages on LinkedIn, many of them offering her tours of other game studios. It was a chance for me to travel and learn what made a good working environment, said Nakamura. I decided to use that experience to open my own small studio and build my IP. So she plans to hire a diverse studio, noting that video gaming is still a male-dominated industry by far, but that 80% of the messages that she received on LinkedIn were from women. She plans to have full gender equality in her studio and hopes that more studios in Japan will follow suit. We don't know very much about her new game yet, but we do know that she doesn't want to take it too seriously. She wants to make sure it's full of dark jokes. Ghostwire Tokyo comes out later in October for the PS5 and PC as a timed exclusive. After that, Microsoft plans to put Tango to work making Microsoft and PC exclusives. Silly saying, clever, getting secrets from the competition. It's brilliant. It really is. She kind of just stepped back from the position she was in, realizing it wasn't a good place for her, and then took the opportunity to get tips from everyone. It really is brilliant. I'm excited to see what she comes up with, especially as a woman in the video game industry. It is really, really good to see other women kind of at the top as well, not just kind of like with a small role in it. But yeah, so as Silly says, on a real note, good on her. I concur. And that's all I got on that particular topic. Last up to chat about today is actually something that I think was requested by Wolf, who I don't see in the comments today, but it's all good there. It looks like Microsoft might be acquiring Discord in what would be a $10 billion deal. I was talking about a lot of money when I mentioned $12 million earlier. This is a lot of money. So a new report is stating that Microsoft's latest acquisition could be Discord. Xbox has been on an absolute roll in the acquisitions game. I've talked a lot about different Microsoft acquisitions. Xbox has been upping the ante for a fresh generational start with the Series X and S. And this latest purchase that Microsoft seems to be making is not another studio, but the very popular video game chat community, Discord. Murmurs of this Discord acquisition began kicking up earlier this week. But it looks like a deal might actually be reached very soon. So in a report by VentureBeat via GamesBeat, Discord has reached out to various companies in a bid for a buyer. According to the same report, one of the companies at the top of that list is Microsoft, with a bid of over $10 billion. According to that report, one backed by Bloomberg as well, Discord is currently in an, quote, exclusive acquisition discussion with one party, end quote. That party is reportedly being Microsoft. This news comes hot on the heels of the confirmation that Microsoft is shifting some branding around, as I mentioned last time, with the Xbox Live services now looking like they're labeled as Xbox Network. Discord has been absolutely invaluable as a tool in the last year. It's not the first video game chat tool that's been used, but its growth over the past 18 months has been immense. So now it's a brand that is valued to be in the billions, making it an absolute huge asset for a platform company to get its hands on. With Xbox making such a strong pivot in its message regarding its ecosystem, alongside a ton of other changes to the overall place in the gaming industry, the possible acquisition of Discord would be an impressively strategic move by Team Green. Now would really be the perfect time to hone in on Discord's importance in this industry. So it's already proving to be a profitable venture, but it's still very early on in its infancy regarding development. So this means that any company that acquires it will be in the perfect position to really maximize the goals of Discord CEO Jason Citron. With Microsoft's community-driven focus, with the Xbox Series X, a Microsoft Discord partnership might be a good fit. I'm getting a note in the chat, Silly saying it's getting a little choppy video-wise, but the sound is still a-okay. Love the freeze frame faces, though. Sorry about that. Not sure what happened. I didn't get any notifications on my end, but that does not mean it's not on my end. Hey, you're welcome for the awkward pauses and freeze frames. But as long as that audio's coming through, then it should be fine. All things said, though, if this is the worst that it's gotten in the entire stream, I'm still doing better than I have in the past. Yay! That's all I have for news today. that's it for eSpot Live. So now, for the surprise. I teased early on, Silly was not here for this, but I did tease at the beginning because G-Man brought it up, that the surprise is bonus Ellie. Now I'm going to explain a little bit more of what that means. Tune in tomorrow to this channel, 8 p.m. That's 8 p.m. Eastern time, so that's going to be 5 p.m. if you live on the other coast. There's going to be bonus Ellie. I've got a very special announcement, very special surprise. I'm super stoked. This is, guys, I'm so excited. I appreciate you guys so much for everything that you guys have been doing, for all of your support, for your views, for your chats, for your compliments on my nails. I love it all. And this is kind of a gift back to you guys in a way. So yeah, that is the surprise. So there's still a little bit of surprise left in there, because you'll actually have to tune in tomorrow in order to see the full surprise. But yes, bonus Ellie, that's the surprise. I will be back on this channel tomorrow. That's Friday, 8 p.m. 5 p.m. if you're on the other coast. I'm excited. I really, really hope to see you guys then. I think you'll enjoy what we have for you. And I'm just thrilled to be able to try to think of words that won't give too much away. I very much look forward to seeing you guys in the chat tomorrow. I will also be back again on Monday. Silly says, wait, you can see us? In the chat. I see your chats. Did I say see you in the chat? I don't know what I said. I can't see you. That'd be creepy if I could see you. A little overwhelming too, I think. But it's also a little awkward to say, I can't wait for you to see me tomorrow. Anyways, thank you guys so much for all of your support, for sticking with me, for your... Wow, I don't know what word I meant to put in there. For your... Just thank you for existing. I really appreciate that. I look forward to seeing you guys tomorrow. I want to say this one more time because it's a different time than usual. It's going to be 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That's going to be 5 p.m. if you're on the other coast. If you live in the middle, it'll be somewhere in the middle. I gotta get better about that. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I will also be back regularly scheduled on Monday. That has not changed, but tomorrow. Bonus Ellie. I will see you then. In the meantime... Silly says, thank you for existing, Rodney. I also appreciate Rodney's existence, and I appreciate your appreciation for Rodney's existence. In the meantime, between now and tomorrow, make sure you're staying happy and healthy and hydrated, and most importantly, as always, stay devious.